Okay, so you don't trust your creative ideas anymore. Let's handle that. Okay. The first thing that I'm getting about you not trusting your creative ideas anymore is you are underusing your abilities. For real though. What part of your mind feels underused? What part of your mind feels underused? Okay. So, one of the reasons, ooh, this is so interesting. One of the reasons why you're not trusting your creative ideas is because you are shortchanging yourself. Mm, you are too brilliant to not use your God given talents. Okay. And so the next thing that I'm sensing about this is that you're also not trusting the flow and ideas that God has given you that are unique and different, right? So, because it's so different, you're comparing what you feel you should do, what you want to do, to what other people are doing. And because it may not look like the trends, it may not look like all your friends, it may not look like, I can't find another word that makes sense. Okay. But yeah, so it may not look like all the things around you when it comes to marketing your creativity, to building the platforms, the materials, the outcome, right? The canvas, whatever it is that you're using, the sounds, the tones, the cadence, the colors, whatever it is that you're wanting to use, it's most likely not ordinary or average or what everyone else is doing. Okay. And so what I'm sensing is you start drifting into trying to fit in because it's a lot of energy to stick out. Like when you're being different, you have to block out all the naysayers. You have to block out all the people who feel like they know best, right? You have to block out even your own self-doubt about it, right? Yeah. And so it's like a lot of energy. So sometimes it feels like it's easier to just join what everyone else is doing versus paving your own path. What's happened is because you haven't leaned all the way into doing what God told you to do. That's the truth. It's been having you with your mind underused. And when you're not doing that, you don't trust yourself because it's never going to be right unless you do right. It's not going to look like what it's supposed to unless you do it the way that God gave you the vision for it. Okay. So I remember, man, when I'm a polymath, right? So I like to do a lot of things, and not only am I a polymath, but I am a woman and I am the divine feminine. So being a polymath on top of those other things, I have a lot of things that I want to give birth to at one time, right? And so there was one period where there was someone that I really trusted in, and I respected this person's opinion because that person creatively was a little bit further along than me as far as opportunities that had come open for this person, the money that this person had made at the time, right? And so I was like, I have this vision to bridge my spirituality with my art and put it on clothes and do that in a way that's coaching and to do oracle cards and blah, 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 blah. And this person was like, no, 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 no. You need to choose one. You can't do all of those things. You need to choose one, right? And then you need to choose whatever. You need to just choose art. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try and trust this person's opinion, right? Because maybe I'm trying to do too much at one time. Maybe, right? And I've learned some things about that along the line, which I will share to you as I feel led, share with you as I feel led. But the point here is, even when I listened and went into art, the idea that came to me was to put my art on clothes. And this person immediately shut down the idea, saying it wasn't gonna be good. Nobody wants to have art on clothes. No one wants to see that. It's not, no one's gonna buy it because art is meant for walls. Blah 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 blah. I had an idea to put it on wallpaper. No, nobody wants wallpapers. Wallpapers are old. And I was like, and I want to use QR codes. Nobody's using QR codes. And I'm telling you, I had a, and this was way before QR codes came back out. And I was like, no, I'm telling you, I had a vision. QR codes are going to become popular, and I want to use them with my art. And this person was like, no, what are you doing? QR codes, no one uses that. No one does art. Blah. I was just so pessimistic about every idea that I had. But because I trusted and loved this person, I didn't trust my inner guidance. I didn't trust what God inside of me was leading me to do, right? And that's what I'm feeling is the same for you. You have these polymathic ideas on how to manifest your creativity, and maybe you've been telling it to the wrong people. If someone immediately comes out with pessimism before they consider the possibilities of it working, unless we're dealing with scientific formulas here, right? And even then, Einstein proved a lot of things that people said was not going to be possible, right? And I can make a whole list of others. If it's something that you believe in, you have to hold on to it until it manifests. If God showed you it to be true, you hold on to it, even if it takes longer than what you thought it was going to take. And this is why you're not trusting your creative ideas, because, ooh, 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 you've been trusting other people more than you've been trusting the God in yourself. Mm. So let's get another sip of my coffee and then some more insight. So you need to just know that you are grounded and secure in your foundation. Okay? I'm grounded and secure in my foundation. And that foundation is the original idea that God seeded within you. Okay? And then work on it until it's stable. So don't limit yourself. Okay? Once you have the idea, it's kind of like lanterns, right? I made these paper lanterns. So the first iteration was drawing it on paper, right? But if I just take that plain paper without it having any type of protection, it's not going to last long, right? So when I wrap it around light, one, it's probably going to be a fire hazard. And then two, like if somebody bumps into it, it's gonna crumble and crash. I learned this with abstract jewelry ideas. Like in the beginning, I've been making jewelry for a long time, and I've sampled a lot of different ways to make jewelry. And in the beginning, I would have really dope ideas, but they weren't stable. They probably would be good for one or two wears. And I didn't, and then they would crush and crumble because the wire was too thin. There was no secure framing around the stones, or even though it was an abstract visual that you're wearing, it wasn't firm. So it's gonna, unless it just wasn't, it didn't have any longevity principles to them, right? And so I learned over time to start testing my jewelry. So then I would have testers who would wear my jewelry for years. And so if it stood up for years, I'd be like, oh, that's a stable idea, right? So I had to start learning to put more time into my ideas so that I could trust that it would be something that would last, right? So then when I come out with it, I'm not afraid if somebody's going to buy it and then regret their purchase because they spent $75 or $150 on this new piece that they've never seen before and they only got one wear out of it, right? Some people are into that. Like if that's the concept, you can have customers for whatever it is that your idea is, but it needs to be intentional, right? That was not my intention. My intention was to sell jewelry they could wear over and over and over again, right? So I tested it. Test your processes. God gave you a vision, but most times the vision is not finished when you get it. You need to build some stability around it. Okay? Yeah, that's what I have for you. Here are 3 journal prompts to help you face your truth around why you don't trust your creative ideas anymore. And not to sit there, but to handle it, right? Okay, so number 1 is, which idea have I been dismissing too quickly? Okay. Number 2 is, where did I learn to doubt my creative instincts? Number 3, what would it look like to listen without judgment today? Write this down. Even if you don't feel like you have the time to write it down, okay? Talk it into a voice note or even just run it. Take some time, sit in nature, and just run these questions through your head. But either way, you need to face it if you want to get stable with your creativity. If you want to move into this next phase of value, you need to handle these obstacles that are preventing you from understanding your worth and how worthy you are of the exchange of energy for your creativity. Okay? So until next time, remember, we do not hide from the truth, we handle it sovereignly.